Let's go.
Ain't never took the shortcut. All they try to show me is the long way. The real question, what I'm giving up. Instead of making real moves, they want the mind games. This
Hey
is
man, that's
basically
it. That's all we do. Every week. Y'all know how I do. Y'all not. Look, let me pause it. Y'all never gonna get the full record. If you want to get the full record, you gotta download that joint. But welcome to the Mad Lucrative Podcast. I am the host, the one, the only Magneto 7 in the building. And look, this is a special pod. Just to let y'all know, this is one of the first guests to be in the Lucrative Lounge, y'all. So let me introduce y'all. This man, I was introduced a little bit earlier. I ain't gonna lie, it was a little bit earlier. But when I saw the work, that of Mr. Quincy Lucas, fire. Number fire. So, how you doing today, man? How you doing? Welcome.
I'm doing good, man. I feel good. I appreciate the opportunity to be up here with you, man. I do not take it for granted. Thank you.
Man, likewise. So, how's your day been? I like to start by saying that.
Day's going well, man. Got up, had a good day of exercise. Nice jog around the block, you know what I mean? And I feel good. Everybody's okay. My kids is okay. My wife's okay. I'm good.
Okay, look, he said jog around the block. So, all right, so what's happening with this, right? We gonna jump into your interview, but
yeah,
it triggered that triggered me. That statement. I took a jog around the block. So
yeah,
I recently started back working out. You know, trying to get my diesel back. But as you know, you look like you're maybe around my age. After you pass 30, it get hard. It get hard.
It can get hard.
Okay,
it can get hard. Now. I guess I get on my soapbox, I guess. It can be hard for you. But you gotta rewire yourself. Like if you grew up in the South, I believe. I grew up in the South.
Right.
I'm from Wilson to be exact, you from Winston-Salem.
Yeah.
A lot of times my grandmother raised me. But you got grandmothers and mothers who get up in the morning, they cook for the whole family, right?
Right.
And they cook 50 biscuits. They cook a pot of grits. They cook sometimes they fry fish along with pork, sausage, and everything you could think. This is every morning, right? This is every morning. You grow up and you can eat that every now and again. You grow up and you eat that. You got to realize that you've been programmed because they were taught to eat that. Now, they live for a long time. Just keep in mind, the stuff that they ate in the way that they ate it is not the same that we get.
No.
They raised and grew that stuff. We don't. We go to Whole Foods and we think it's clean. Right. So you're gonna go jogging. It ain't hard. Tell yourself either one or two things gonna happen. You can make yourself go, or you can wait for the doctor to tell you to go. Don't wait for the doctor to tell you to go. So programming is all about programming. Everything is programming, by the way. Right. Everything.
I agree.
Everything.
So look, he done had to coach me, y'all. I'm sorry, y'all.
I'm sorry.
Yo, the pod be like, we ain't asked for that. You said this. Okay.
Yeah, my bad. Yeah.
Thank you. Programming.
Yeah.
Hold that thought, because we're going to go back to that. But
sure.
Let's introduce you. So where you from, what you do, and we'll go from there.
All right. Well, I'm Quincy Lucas, right? I'm from North Carolina, Wilson, North Carolina, to be exact, right?
Okay.
Born there, raised there for the most part, but not in a conventional way. I moved to Raleigh when I graduated from St. Augustine's. Okay. I am an HBCU grad.
Okay.
And anyone who knows me, knows that it didn't start out that way for me, right? So that's a blessing to have graduated from St. Aug. If you really know me, I'm not talking about college friends. I'm talking about friends who I grew up in the sandbox with.
Gotcha.
Right? So there. And what I do, I'm a screenwriter. I'm an author. I'm co-partner of a podcast called Flicks and Politic on Spotify.
Okay.
And I've been writing for over a decade. And I've come close twice to securing a major deal. I won't name drop because it's tacky, but just know I'm on the ball with it.
Listen. Look, I love. It's something about people that are accomplished
Yeah.
that you just embody excellence and you embody confidence as it relates to what it is you do and what it is you offer, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Um, where would you say you pull that confidence from? From in the beginning, not now, but
Right.
pushing you till now. I'm gonna say,
The confidence, man, that I have to go and maybe pinch an idea, which is not easy at all. I'm an introvert extrovert, meaning in school I could talk to girls, I could do that, right? But I didn't like to be around a bunch of people. I'm a laid back individual.
okay,
And so much so to the point that my mother, we're talking about confidence. My mama said, this is how it is like this. My mom, who has a lot of flaws, like a lot of us do,
right?
one thing I know is that she'll lay down in traffic for me. And she said, listen to me, when you go to school, my mom made my name feel like it was the only name in the world. Quincy. Hey, Quincy, you're a Quincy Lucas. And she said, you go to school. And I even had this guy say to me, all true. I always tell people, you can polygraph me on this too. I ain't scared. He said, man, you walk to school like a king, like you own it.
Yeah.
I said, well, sometimes I feel like I do. The reason for that is this. If you grow up with no holes in your shoe, when you grow up with holes in your shoes, you grow up you grow up wearing secondhand, you have to be able to pull confidence from somewhere. My mom gave it to me. That's where it comes from in a nutshell. My mama told me that there's nobody better than you, and you're not better than anybody. And some people might mistake confidence for saying, I think I'm better than you. If you've talked to me longer than 10 minutes, you will know that it ain't my heart.
Right.
But what I won't do is bow my head in front of you, because I've done that as a kid. And she peeped that in me early, and she said no. And the man she married further cemented in me, oh, he likes to read, he likes to this. Some of the kids don't quite understand how he is. Let me put this other thing in him. We'll get on that later.
Yeah.
So the confidence he put in me showed me a few things, how to handle myself as a young man. And I live by him today. And again, I don't want anybody to mistake confidence for arrogance, because it can happen very easily. Just know that, man, I'll walk with you. I'll walk beside you. And I'm not going to think I'm better than you. But what you won't do is walk over me or treat me like I'm less than. That's something that we totally will not have at all from anybody, whether you're up here or down there. Because keep in mind, I told you, we won't name drop. We talk to all kind of people at the end of the day.
Right.
If COVID ain't taught you one thing, it should have taught you humility.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, who you are.
It's funny that you say that too. So of course, film industry, music industry is simultaneous. It's pretty much the same thing, right? So I remember, and this is before we're gonna go backtrack before any big placement, right? Before Sony, before any of that. I remember the first, and this probably been about 3 different hits. The first one was when I was in college.
Yes, sir.
I had a professor. I went to A&T. I graduated from A&T.
Salute, HBC, salute.
Exactly.
Yes, sir.
So
yes, sir.
I had a professor. It was kind of a love-hate relationship with me and him, right?
Right.
He would say, well, you so bright, Crawford, you're so bright, but you just act like this ain't what you want to do. And kind of like you, my mom grew me up and my grandfather grew me up to be a strong black man and to not take nothing. So I'd be like, well, I understand what you see in me, but that's not what I want to do. So I told him, well, I'm going to what I want to do is produce music. I'm going to get a Grammy.
Right.
I'm going to get platinum plaques and all that stuff. And then I might venture into teaching and stuff. But that's what I want to do right now.
Yes, sir.
He said probability of that is 99.9%. You probably won't get it. So let's look at maybe teaching first. And then you get into your dreams later. So fast forward, I'm going to say 5 years later, because I got out the mud, paying postage to send CDs in the mail, trying to go to New York.
Yes, sir.
And when I
self-addressed stamp envelopes.
exactly
Yeah.
sent them a picture of the Grammy. I
Yes,
said
sir.
I did it. He
Yes,
said,
sir.
"Thank you for not listening."
Yes, sir.
I said, "Okay." So this wasn't even a part of what I wanted to ask you.
Nah, go ahead, man. Go ahead.
so
I'm with you.
so
I'm with you.
the indoctrination of, I want to say, self-sabotage within our own
Right.
people, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think it's a fear situation, or do you think it's a I don't want you to make it to that level, or what do you think it stems from?
Oh, that's a great question. Wow.
I wasn't gonna
That's a
ask.
that's a great question because see that question exists heavily in the African American community, right? You have people who you grew up with all your life, people that love you, your aunties, your uncles, your grandmothers, your mothers. People have a fear of the unknown. Like
Mm-hmm.
when I first got accepted into school, I wasn't on the track to go. Anybody that knows me knows this. That really know me. I wasn't on the track to go to school, and I was on it. I was throwing rocks at the penitentiary,
Okay.
meaning you know what it means.
Yeah.
But I have, and all of my entire circle can prove it and will vouch for me for the ones who are not mad that I left anyway.
Yeah.
But
You gonna
and
have
I
them.
don't. Yeah, and I don't purport to be this guy. I just know what I know, and I'm always willing to be polygraphed for it, waiting on them. Nothing like receipts. The only thing that's better than receipts is a valid memory.
Yeah. Hold
Now,
on. Say it again. Say it again.
the only thing that's better than receipts is a valid memory. The only thing you need is a valid memory, man, and receipts.
Yeah.
Because people are gonna lie, they're gonna tell all kind of things, they're gonna say things, and when you say, "Huh, that's what happened," show them the paperwork, show them this authenticated, show them this from the government, show them. One thing about us, black people, we will believe an authoritative figure when they got that government seal on it, for good or bad. For good or bad.
Right.
Nowadays, people can doctor that stuff up, but when you talk about a fear of why is it a self-sabotaging thing in our community, because we are taught that we should never rise above our lot. You weren't brought here. You weren't raised to be you, not me, you.
Yeah.
You weren't raised to get a Grammy.
Yeah.
Didn't nobody, your people put, your grandfather, your mother, whoever put it in you to be strong and tough, but they put it in you for a different reason. In their mind, when you got a person such as my grandfather who goes and he's a plumber, he plumbs every day, makes a great living by it.
Yeah, that's a good living.
Good living.
Our plumber made mad money.
Right. But that's what he learned that. That's his thing, plumbing and carpentry. He passed on that, God rest his soul.
Okay.
He says, "Hey, I'm gonna put this strongness in you, but it's not for you to go get a Grammy or to write a screenplay and get in the room with Ryan Reynolds. It's not for you to do that because I don't understand that."
Right.
And when people don't understand, they fear. And they say, so if you get into a room like that, how did you get into a room like that? And they have a fear of you becoming something. They got a fear of you losing your soul.
Yeah, got unpack it. You're right.
I didn't want to do that because people are like, "Oh, he's talking about souls, man."
Nah, unpack it. That's real.
He's getting spiritual. Well, I'm gonna tell you about me.
We from the South too, though. We in the Bible Belt, so yeah.
Right, but we in the Bible Belt, and people believe just because you're in the Bible Belt, you got to be a Bible thumper. But I tell you this: if you cease, what are you gonna do? I hate to get like this, but I gotta say it. What are you gonna do when you come up on something that you can't deal with physically? Let's say you are a world-class boxer, or you've been in martial arts for 30 years, or whatever you like, or you're trigger happy for some people out there. Say you're just this person that is, if I see it, I can hit it. Well, if you see it, you can hit it. But what you gonna do if you can't see it?
If you can't see it, you preaching, Doc.
That's why I wrote the movie. That's why I wrote Winter's Prophecy.
Okay.
Winter's Prophecy is about you can't see everything that's going on. Sometimes you feel it. Sometimes you smell it. One of the main characters, Moshe, has a smell disorder. It's not a disorder, man. If God gave it to you, if God gave you big ears, it's not a disorder because he gave it to you.
Right.
Now you might have it tapered or you might have something done to it because you're self-conscious, but if you get rid of it all the way, you just shot one of your gifts down.
Mm-hmm.
So now,
exactly.
if you talk about people say, oh, well, why do we self-sabotage? Because we don't understand it and they don't want you to lose your soul. What people don't understand is this. It's not a lot of us, but it's some of us out here that have seen things that didn't quite make sense. And we don't want to lose our soul either. So we listen to what grandma said. So when we come up on something, let me tell you something. An arrogant person say, oh, I can have all the women in the world. I can do that.
Right.
Guess what? Maybe you can. Maybe your gift of gab is that strong. Maybe you're just that attractive. But guess what? Get deep with it. What come with that? What are you giving off to make this happen? And is every woman that come into your, or man, depending on who you are,
right,
that comes into your circle, is that person for you? So now you got to say, let me look at this thing from a different lens. Let me put my third eye on, right?
Mm-hmm.
What is it that draws them to me? Do you even know if it's good? Because now you're so arrogant.
Yeah.
Not confident.
Not confident.
You're arrogant and you're emitting something. Something's coming off.
Mm-hmm.
The person that is being drawn to you, that you think that you're such a gift to the men or the women, they could be drawn to you to destroy you.
Mm-hmm.
That'll be the person that's, yeah.
Go both ways.
They go both ways. So I had to write Winner's Prophecy to say, listen, man, you got some, I know some people, as I'm sure you do too. I'm sure you do. And we're from and we're from the South.
Yeah.
But people, God didn't just make it one way. If I know some guys, man, who, if they can see it, they'll step all over it.
Yep.
Okay?
Yep.
And enjoy doing it and won't lose sleep about it.
Look, I don't know. I don't know if I want to say it. But I said, I be getting killed anyway on the pod, so it's cool.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I know it's a lot of my musician friends. That's touched. I'm gonna say that's touched the big stage. They've touched it, right?
Yes, sir.
All of them, including me. I've said it before, but now I've kind of changed that point of view. But they say, well, if you go back home, back in Winston, that's where the witches came from anyway. So it's jealousy. They gonna step on everything that you try to do, so you better not ever move back. And awkwardly, when I moved to Atlanta, we moved 11 years ago now.
Okay.
I immediately, of course, you're going to still have cliques and all that kind of stuff. But I noticed immediately the level of, come over here, let me help you out. Let me help pull you up.
Right.
Let me help. This is how you structure this business. You want to do this, you want to do that. Like, I learned that when I moved to Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
Back home, oh no, you doing that? That's what you gonna do? you want a Bentley, a Lamborghini? Why would you want all of that? Down here, that's regular. Like, you want one of them? Cool, go get it.
They're conditioned for it. They understand that. Listen, man. Look, man. There's so much I want to say, and I don't want you to.
Gotta watch it.
So much. Right.
Yeah, I feel you.
There's so much I want to say. Man. Because I got to be careful.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say this. You can have whatever you want in this world. Get that? That work both ways. Mm-hmm. Whatever you want, you can have. Mm-hmm. I've always believed that. I've never been the guy to say, "Oh man, I can't have." I've never, as a kid, I've never been that way.
Me either.
You can't have that. You can't talk to her. You can't. What? God, hold on for a minute. If I came here through my mom, my dad and my mom got together. God said, "Okay, there it is," and I'm here. Why I can't do that? I've never been the guy. You're talking to a kid, man, who had a GQ subscription at 13. I was enamored by it. All the nice clothes, the cars, the watches. I've always been. I read. I'm a bookworm, man.
Okay.
Right? So much, like I said, to the point so that my stepfather said, "Hey, come over here, boy. Let me show you how to whoop, wop, wop." Because the friends you're hanging around, these jokers here. If you're running with these people here, this is what you're gonna need to have to do in order to make this work. Because he had been incarcerated and he had seen a few things, and he liked me. And people don't say that often. I had a stepfather that actually liked me.
Yeah.
As a person. A lot of kids don't get that. And he took time with me. And he talked to me. And he took up massive time with me. Right? And I soaked it up. Because my father, whatever, we ain't even gonna get on him.
Right.
But man, people are conditioned to ride in Lamborghinis and Bentleys in different places because Atlanta specifically has been emancipated from the thought of we're less than. When you feel like you're less than, you don't feel like, let me tell you, I was driving in my car of choice a couple years ago. Okay. Cooling out.
Yeah.
I wanted the car. I seen it. Went and got it.
Right.
I remember coming home from Wilson, seeing my people, and I pulled up to a white guy, pulled up right next to me. Look, see how he said. He was casual. He said, "I'm driving the same car he driving." Now check this out. Deep down, when he looked at me, I felt at this time, I felt as if I was about 36. I felt as if he was supposed to be in that car.
Wow.
Not me. The car, I felt the car was made for him. Not me.
Interesting.
A couple of months later, I totaled that car. Not on purpose. A drunk driver hit me. I only have a little blemish on my wrist because of it. Thank God. But I don't have that vehicle because I didn't believe it was supposed to be mine. Now, a lot of people are going to say, "Oh man, he a sucker. He did." Yeah, you can play like your mind is in full, is intact all the way. You can play that game to people that don't know. But if you sit down and talk to somebody and they get to talking to you and peeling back the layers, they'll find out what's really good. And until you understand that the truth is what makes you free. Nothing can stand in the way of your idea or your ideal.
Yeah.
And God said it's all yours. Just ask for it and believe it. See, I asked for it and got it, didn't believe it. So now, years later,
you preaching right there. Even that one look. Don't let it go over your head. You asked for it, got it, but didn't believe it.
Didn't believe it belonged to me. Now I know it belonged to me. I know without a shadow of a doubt it belonged to me. So God said, "Okay, we're going to take you back a step and then put you up a step. So now when you get it, you know it's truly yours. But this is your deal. You're charged with letting everybody else know it's theirs too." See, it ain't nothing that's man-made that's for a particular people. You can't go and say, "Oh, steak and shrimp." And I'm vegan, by the way. I don't even want to get on that, but I will, but I don't know. But that's just, you know what I mean. Let's say steak and shrimp. That's only for the bourgeoisie. That's only for the upper class people. That's only for, man, listen. If that's what because I don't call that good eating now. And that's my personal. I don't knock anybody.
Right.
It's just not for me. But if you feel like you can't go and sit in a 5-star restaurant and enjoy a meal that you shouldn't be there, you're not going to be there. And if you're there, it's going to get taken away from you. I'm charged with letting everybody else know whatever you want to drive, wherever you want to live. If they're not harming you, now don't neglect your common sense. Right. You may say, I'll move to this neighborhood, but if you know they got tiki torches, just move to an adjacent neighborhood where there ain't no tiki torches.
Exactly.
That's just as nice, right? But it's yours, man. And that's the thing. I appreciate you, buddy.
No, bro, I appreciate you because the funny thing is that hit home for me because I remember. And that one statement fast-tracked everything in my brain. I was like, "Oh my God, I gotta get off this live." Like, okay, so what you said about having a car, lose it, you didn't feel like you know that was
that's
in a nutshell, that's exactly how I felt when I got my Grammy. That's
Yeah.
Cause the thing is, here I was working with Havoc. Shouts out to Havoc. But I was working with Havoc.
For Mob Deep?
Yeah. Yeah.
Ooh, I'm a hip hop head now.
Okay.
Let's keep it all the way live.
So
yeah.
actually, I was going back and forth through Durham, from the air from Greensboro to Durham, back and forth. And when we end up getting nominated for the Grammy,
Okay.
I remember one of our conversations, and a few other musicians that's like been in the game for decades. Well, I ain't never got no Grammy. Them white folk ain't gonna ever let you. You ain't gonna just get in like that. You gotta put some time in.
You hear what you saying? You hear what you saying?
Yeah.
Them white folk ain't gonna never give me. It don't come from them.
Bruh. The crazy thing is, when I got it, it was a little bit of remorse. Because I was like, well, I only been in the game maybe 2-3 years. Maybe.
Right.
And I go to EMI. Oh, congrats, man, Nita on a Grammy now. I'm like, appreciate it. Then I get the old heads that's kind of hating, like, well, yeah, keep working. I ain't got one. And I'm just like, yo, what? Y'all done produced some of the hits that I love, and I'm getting the Grammy before y'all. Like, you see what I'm saying?
Have they ever woke up in the morning? Ask yourself, have they ever woke up in the morning and been you? If they haven't, then guess what? They can't tell you that it's going to take you 10 years to do what it took them 10 years to do. It don't work that way. I had to get out of that whole, that's what I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Programming. We said programming when it first jumped off.
Yeah.
You have to tell yourself, listen, what I'm good at, you might not be good at. I haven't done a song with Qunicy. I went to his concert. Listen, man, I'm a fan of the music.
Okay.
Right? I'm a fan of the music. It's from the heart. I'm a fan. I grew up to it. And everywhere that you think I'm talking about that way.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
And you work the SP12. You work this, you work that. You do things. I don't know how to do that. I even thought about buying one just for a hobby one time, just to do it. About to waste some money, but I don't know. But it's just something that I wanted to do. But I'm saying I can't do what you do. Everybody has their own superpower.
Right.
And if we recognize that, people will be better off. And if people stop trying to skim people or flim-flam people, as my mom would say, we'd be better off. Because at the end of the day, this is the deal. What's for you belong to you. And people say that all the time, but they don't believe it.
They don't.
But what's for me is mine. You can't even touch it. Even if I threw you on it, something would throw you off of it. It belonged to me.
Yeah.
And what's for you belong to you. So your Grammy, don't feel remorse, because guess what, man? How many nights did you go hungry? How many nights you go hungry for the Grammy?
Exactly.
You didn't have nothing to eat. Or you had a slice of cheese pizza and you scraped to get that. Let's be real.
I was hitting them oodles and noodles. I was hitting the little oodles and noodles.
People don't want to be real. Once you get 10, 20 minutes, see, people got the wrong idea this is why I'm able to do and say what I'm saying, because I mean it from my toes, my heart.
Yeah.
I don't have to have the money you have, brother.
Yeah.
That's why you don't have to ever worry. That's why I can talk. That's why I'm able to talk to Mr. Antoine A. Way, who made the connection and all that. You got people who I really feel that way. There is no person that can say, I can stop Quincy from doing X, Y, Z. You may stop that. You may blackball that particular venue, or you may blackball me from that particular situation.
Yeah.
But there's 1,000 more situations.
Exactly.
Because there's somebody that you know who's ever doing the blackballing. You've wronged somebody because you're blackballing somebody. And somebody will give you an opportunity just to spite that person.
Yeah. Yeah. And then you show up, deliver, and they're like, oh, where you been at?
Where you been? I've been waiting on you, homie. Where you at? I'm right here, man.
It took me to go through that. And it was probably about a 3-4 year turnaround. For me to go through that, I ended up getting jobs after job after job. I was doing illegal jobs too. Like I was doing some jobs.
I told y'all so much I want to say. I'm not gonna say it.
But I was doing job after job after job, working for different companies, and at one point I looked up and I was like, "Yo, it's been this many years.
Right.
I deserve. Why am I doing this? I'm not supposed to be doing this. I'm supposed to be. I'm supposed to be doing that." But I think it took me to go through all of that and
Right.
get in the space where I am now, as far as ownership, and this is what we're
Yes,
gonna
sir.
talk about too. As far as ownership, creating content, and teaching people. Well, yeah, you could get this big plaque and all this stuff, but are you stable?
Right.
Are you in the position to be able to do this by yourself and
Right.
with your own team if they don't fund it?
Are you self-sustainable independently?
Exactly.
And that's the
Exactly.
whole goal. That's the whole goal. My goal isn't to listen, man.
He's good.
It's peanuts to other people, but that's okay. They gotta live their lives. My thing is, I gotta do my thing the way I do it. My thing is this. You said, what's your goal? 100K a year? Some people will say, man, that ain't no money. Guess what? You're looking at money.
Yeah.
I'm looking at freedom. So if I can make as much money as I make now independently, I'm a boss.
It's a win.
If you making 100, 200,000, but yet you taking orders from somebody, you ain't.
Nah. At all.
That's the goal. That's what I'm saying. People have to get out of don't chase anybody and what they have. You got Ice Cubes, Jay-Z's, Currencies, you got Nas's, listen, all these guys will say stuff like, this is what they say stuff like when you look at them. Or maybe behind closed, I don't care. That's not my boss.
Yeah.
Everybody got to take that attitude. I don't care. That's not my boss. I don't have to have 800 million to be that guy because see, some of us were popular broke.
Exactly.
Some of us was having our way
Influence.
broke.
Influence.
Yeah. Yeah. Some of us were able to do the things that other people can't do broke or what people would consider broke.
Right.
Right. So they've never put their pants on and been me or you. It goes back to that. It's something somebody gave you. God gave you to say, hey, I want it that way. You needed 800 million just to be able to be away.
Right.
I didn't.
Right.
So if I'm I got kids. I don't know if you do.
I got two.
Got two. I got two.
Two little girls.
I got a little girl. Well, she ain't as little. She little to me. I got a little boy.
Okay.
She about to graduate. But man, listen, when you stand on your own too, the kids is watching this. Exactly. They're watching this.
They are.
They're taking notes. And they say, well, my daddy, yeah, he worked, but he got 2 books out. You go to his Instagram page and check them out. They selling.
Right.
Come time for the light bill, I don't gotta be looking for Peter, Paul, and Joe to say it's the light bill right there.
Right.
Then you have a really good time. You really push it. You say, oh man, that's half of the mortgage. Yep. I'm owning something. What am I on to? If I can take care of all my bills off my back, independently, not having to bow down and
clock in
clock in. It's nothing wrong with working. Nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with working. Nothing. But there's a dynamic that has gone on for far too long that people have to wake up and say, hey, you can be from Winston-Salem, and guess what? You can drive your Bugatti back home, your Lambo, your Tesla, and you're supposed to have it. When people realize they're supposed to have it, that it's for them. It ain't just for a class of people. It's for them.
Right.
Once they get that, they got that in Atlanta.
Yep.
Once they understand that and understand that they are worthy.
Yep.
It's all good. You got to first get an agreement with yourself. See, I'm now in agreement with myself.
Good.
Okay? I'm in agreement with myself. And things have been going all right.
Yeah. All right,
yes,
so all right. We it's gonna end up being an hour. So all right, so we're gonna jump into the film world, all right?
Okay.
And the screenwriting world.
Yes, sir.
What type of things or what type of environment have you put yourself in that gives you the ideas? or is it like,
Ideas?
or is it just a car ride, or is it like a conversation? Like how's it work with you on
Everything
average?
on average, man, life. News, well, not articles I see on YouTube or social media.
Okay.
Something I saw on the news. People that I know. I get a phone call from somebody I ain't talked to in years. They be like, "Yo, you know," because some people still keep that connection. So so and so just, and I'm like, "What?" All those things you grab ideas from personal experiences. Like I said, there's some things. What are you gonna do when you can't handle something physically? What do you do when you see a puzzle? When you're in real life and you're confronted with a puzzle that you got to answer, and you say, "Man, you spend 2-3 years trying to figure it out." That's something to write about.
Mm-hmm.
That's something to write about. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I remember, for example, we were coming. You ever heard of a place called Goldsboro, North Carolina?
Yes. I got shouts out to Howard McNair.
Okay,
He from
okay,
Goldsboro. That's one of my
okay,
partners.
okay. I was coming back from Goldsboro one night, and I made a post on my social media just yesterday. It infuriated me. I saw them gaffle up a 10-year-old kid.
Mm.
Right?
Okay.
This kid was screaming and hollering. You had 6 police officers, big white guys, vests on, totally militarized, ready. Grabbed this 10-year-old kid because he took a bag of Doritos. And he was crying like he was looking at 6 boogeymans. And you know what he was?
Mm.
There's grown men out here, grown men with muscles that act the same way as that 10-year-old kid.
Mm.
Now, from them, I expect a little bit better. But from the kid, I expect just that because he's a kid. He was terrified. And so when you talk about movies, like I got something coming out called something else different called Major Johnson.
I saw that.
Major Johnson we was coming back from Goldsboro, me and 2 guys.
Okay.
And they stopped us on this long strip of highway, man. And I know this is country.
That Fayetteville strip. I already know about that. They got me 2 times.
They jumped out, and it was probably about 2:00 in the morning, and they had SWAT gear on. I'm talking about they had the vests on like the little kid. They had the guns with the leg holsters. So you could have the hip, but they had the leg holsters on. And they pulled us out the car, and they said, "Pull over at first." My man was driving, he pulled over. He said, get out. So I'm thinking, and I'm looking at them like, man, they look like something you see off of Sicario or something.
Mm.
But these are agents. And when I get out the car, I get out too quickly. He kicked the door. He was like, up, and pull the gun out, kick the door, hit my leg, and he snatched me out, slammed me to the car, and then he put the cuffs on, right? Now, I didn't act like a 10-year-old kid, but I'm not going to sit here and tell you that 6 guys, 2 a.m. in the morning, dressed like that, regale you from the top of their head to the bottom of their feet. That causes a response. That causes trauma. That causes something.
Mm-hmm.
Then one of the guys, actually 2 of them, was black. The other 4 were white.
Mm-hmm.
The black guy was the roughest with me.
I want to unpack that. Look, no, what you're saying, okay? Because my co-host on the regular pod is a white guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
We cool, we friends.
Okay.
And a lot of what you're saying, he would be like, well, that ain't no way that happened. Why would they do that? And it's like, you don't understand. That still happens. It's not foreign.
It's not foreign.
It's not.
You see my whole demeanor. I'm still. I don't even want. Listen, it's not foreign, and I will say this. As I'm talking to you, I'm getting something.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, what you can't see. It could be, I've never thought about this until right now talking to you. That cop could have been doing that, possibly sparing my life, saying, I'm going to do this so that they can't get their hands on you.
Mm.
I'm going to be rough with you this way. That saves a bullet for you. Now, I'm actually bigging up
deep.
the black cop inadvertently. I don't mean to, but it came to me that way.
Yeah.
But it came to me that way because the other guys were, they said nothing. It was almost like
they see red.
They see red.
Mm-hmm.
And so it does happen. I don't want to curse. I haven't cursed. I don't think I've cursed not one time.
You
up
didn't.
Here.
I haven't either, so we doing good.
Okay. It's not a fluke. It's not a figment of an imagination, of my imagination. Just know, man, that things happen. And there are those cops, though, that are supposed to be, black cops are supposed to be held to a higher standard. Right. Okay? You have two different levels of duties. You're supposed to police the people, but then when you see a little black boy like yesterday, go to that call and get that kid, man, and give that owner $1.80 or whatever for the Doritos, man, to put him in the car and say, listen, if you steal again, this is where you're gonna be.
Exactly.
Don't yap him up. Don't have him screaming because the kid thinks he's gonna die.
Exactly.
Because they have killed so many people that's what people automatically think. It's been
displayed over and over.
Over and over again. So now you got people out here now who are saying, hey, listen, if I'm going to get hurt anyway, I might as well hurt something. That kid wasn't like that. He wasn't a threat. Now you got the black cop who you went to school with, who he couldn't do what he wanted to do, because it's that cop too, and I know him. He couldn't do what he wanted to do to you.
In the school.
He couldn't deal in school. Yeah. He couldn't talk to the girl that you talked to in school. He couldn't have her. He was having your way with her.
They out there.
He becomes a cop. And he deals with you disrespectfully, and he deals with you unethically. Those guys have problems because they can't get what they want. Black cops have a different level of responsibility, man, because if you know, and you're from the South, you know that it started from slave catchers in the South. That's what the patrol started from. It didn't start like what you think. It started from catching slaves. And if you're going to be black and be a cop, you need a different psyche valve. You need several, and you need to be able to police your brothers in blue.
Right.
But don't forget your brothers who are black.
Yep.
So the film world, I pull from all these things, man. And I'm going to keep it real. Everybody ain't going to say this. Some places, as I think right now, man, if my son said he about to go some places, I'd be like, what? See, I didn't have that in my life. I didn't have it to where somebody would stop me from going somewhere. So it may cost me a little bit, but my grandmother had passed at a certain point. So it's like, I didn't have to go to school. I didn't have to go to college. I didn't have to go to high school. I could have dropped out in the 10th, 11th grade. It was all on me. It was I didn't have an authoritative figure saying, you have to go and do this, man.
Right.
I had carte blanche, and I get up in the morning, man. I'd be in Virginia, man, like, hey, what we doing?
Yeah.
That's a whole lot of freedom. So you have to take it upon yourself to say, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? You see what I'm saying? So I pull from all these things, man. Both parents on dope. My mom's clean now. I don't know about my father. And I'll tell you this. I never told anybody this because I don't get interviewed often. I'm gonna keep it real.
Okay.
I want quiet money. The money can speak for itself. I don't have to.
Yeah.
My father, quote unquote, what you want to say, grew up with having a little bit of money, but still neglected his duties. And I'm not even gonna call his name because I don't deal with him. They say I look like him, but any G in me comes from my mother. Any strong role of character comes from my mama. And any home training that you see in me comes from my grandmother.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
And when you pull from, I got a bevy of things to pull from. Some stuff I don't even talk about because I don't want to hurt folks' feelings.
Yeah. You better than me, bro. For me, like, okay, I was like you. We have a lot of the same backstory. A lot.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
When I started podding, that's what I originally did it to open up the conversation for artists and all that kind of stuff, musicians. But
Yes, sir.
the more I've developed into the space, it's a little bit of therapy involved too.
It is.
And when it just come out, it come out. And
It come out.
my mom will watch some of the pods, and my family
Girl.
they watch a lot. And I'm
Girl.
like, yo, I'm sorry, but if you want to know what I saw and what I felt, it's not going to be filtered through your lens. Like,
No. No.
I'm just saying.
No.
And you take it how you take. We can talk about it after I say it, but if that's what I saw and that's how I processed it, it is what it
That's
is.
People rarely see how they treat you. They only know what they're going through. And then if they high, let's just be real.
Mm-hmm.
If they, I ain't talking about like they smoke some loud high or they really got the kush. Nah, I ain't talking about. I'm talking about. Yeah, I'm talking about high.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm talking about high. They high out their mind. Dope. They don't. They only can see what's in front of them. And them, they don't see you. They only can see a step in front of them. They don't see 3 steps.
Okay.
And when you say these things to them, they're like, oh, but what I tell you, valid memory and receipts. When somebody gets to saying you lying or you a liar, that didn't happen. You say, oh, hold on. You know what you do? Post the receipt up on the pod or post it up on social media and say, now, I take all calls one by one. Because you're not going to make me seem like let me tell you something.
Yeah.
As a kid, man, I told you, I was laid back. Now, as a kid, my friends would say he wasn't laid back. He was tripping. Well, my mom had me like this. You go to school. If they hit you, pick up the nearest thing and hit them. Don't worry about it. And come tell me. You do what you got to do. Right. Woo-woo. A lot of kids would say, oh, don't go play with Quincy. You know, his mom, because it first started with drinking. Then it started with cocaine, right? Don't play with him. He off the chain, whatever. Yeah. So I found myself, man, I'm in the projects playing with people. I got friends all over the city because not just in my grandmother's neighborhood, right? And they know me. And right. And so my mother would say, nah, you act my mother would say, act a fool if they cross you. My grandmother would say, nah, you're not a fool. So now I got this duality in me. Yeah. And I love my grandma. Man, she right there. Yeah. Her picture right by my desk. I don't want to let her down. So I don't want to act a fool. But my mama's like, if you don't act a fool, they're going to keep bothering you. So now I'm like, now I'm already an introvert, keeping it real, meaning that doesn't mean I don't talk to people. It just means that I only talk to certain people. You get me in the room with everybody and we go somewhere, we out, and we chilling, we get this thing get over. You gonna see me, I'm gonna come in, dap you up. What's up? How you doing? Everything good? I'm gonna make sure you straight. Yeah. And if I don't know everybody, I'm gonna get in the corner and I'm surveying now. I'm seeing where the link said that don't need to be there. I'm seeing what's what, because I don't know how I'm gonna have to be. Can I be this way? Or can I be another way? I gotta see. Once I see everything cool, I settle down, I open up. If everything ain't cool, I don't open up because now it's about mentality. Yep. It's like
if something go down, I need to.
You can't really speak to certain people, man, who are not worthy of being spoken to because y'all not on the same wavelengths. So yeah, the writing comes from everywhere, man. It comes from social media, news, real life. I pull a lot from real life, man. Okay. I have to cover it like I have to write and say it's fiction. Okay. It's a book I have out right now called Clout. Right now on Amazon. It was titled Murder Rap.
Put a link below. Put a link below.
Okay. Huh? I can do that now?
No, we're gonna make sure we put a link below when we put the pod out. So you said it's called Clout?
It's called Clout. It was called Murder Rap. This is the first time that I figured out that I knew I was gonna have to be an independent person. I pitched this to Showtime. I even hate to say it because I don't want to sound like I'm throwing names. The truth is the truth is what it is. Right. So they vetted it for 6 months and then they came back to me. We talked about it. And they said, well, what are you talking about, Mr. Lucas? Well, I said, okay. I took it from my stepfather. Yeah. My stepfather, who I said my mother married, who had did some time, and he New York to North Carolina, and he said, let me show you some things, how to box and different things. Because I got picked on as a little kid. I got picked on. Okay. Last time I got picked on, man, I was in the 10th grade. I got jumped by some guys. I got snuffed by a guy. So that really, but, and this is the truth again, receipts is a beast. Before that happened, I said, hey man, you have a problem with me? You want to fight? What's your problem? Because people would say he got a problem. So I just walked up to him. What's up? She's like, nah, Q, we good. We good. Now I was cutting up at this time, not trying to be bad, but I thought that there was only a particular way that you could really kind of like, get money.
Right.
And I just walked up to him. And what people that from your hometown that hate you and hate that you're trying to do better, they'll never say, Q walked up to that man and asked that man, what do you want to do, before his friends surrounded him. But somebody hit me from behind, so that don't really count. For a long time, I carried that with me, man. I undoubtedly 1,000%, and I can say this because I can give you the proof.
Okay.
I knew if certain people cross me, if you try to harm me, I already knew my play.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna go no further than that. I undoubtedly knew my play. My people that's closest to me knew my play, and it took me a long time to realize that, man, he didn't want to fight straight up. We're kids now. He didn't want to do that straight up, but my stepfather helped me with that, and I wrote clout based off of him and my mom. The main character is a lady from the South who moves to New York, and the guy's from Jamaica, and he moves to New York, and they meet, have a son. Hip hop.
Sound good.
Hip hop. Always listen to me. When I told them at Showtime thought so too until I showed them a picture of O Block.
Okay.
Chicago. And I told them this is what it is. These kids here, these kids that you see, it was like 15 kids holding guns.
Yeah.
It's a method to my madness. Hold on. Because I'm about intellect. I want to stress that. It's not about going out here doing stuff to people. It's not about that. It's about intellect. I said, these people, these children are hurting. And when you have these guys are getting on records and rhyming about their real life.
Right.
They got friends dying every day.
Mm-hmm.
You want to see these people make it. When there's a rapper that gets on wax and he says something that he doesn't do, if you say you sold 1,000 keys and you never sold a gram of crack, you've never sold a gram of crack. In my story, the main character, which is the son of the stepfather and the mother that both met,
right?
He was a famous rapper. You picture Nas or you picture a Jay-Z or you picture your favorite rapper, whoever he is. He makes all this money. He goes away and leaves the rap game to an island and just stays secluded for a couple of years and just kind of get his mind right, get his spirituality right. He comes back to the city. And if you are a liar, if you're the person saying that you're doing all these things, and you're not, he comes and he finds you. And he leaves you where he leaves you where he finds you. When I told Showtime, he's a fixer, really. He's a fixer / hitman, really.
Right.
If you are a rapper that says you're positive, picture, rapper, so I don't want to call anybody's name and get you in trouble, but picture your favorite conscious rapper, whoever he is.
We'll do Common.
What? Okay.
Yeah, Common.
But on the low, he's supplying half of O Block with the guns and dope. He's purporting to be conscious in real time, and we believe he's a good guy, but on the low, he's supplying all the dope and the guns. My fixer comes and gets you, and he leaves you where he finds you. See, it's a two-way sword.
Yeah.
Tell your truth and you live. Tell your truth and you're fine. A lot of people at that time that I first wrote this were lying, in my personal opinion, because some of the things don't add up. If I get my main man, now, people who I know have master PhDs in this thing, he said, man, he lying. I almost said something. He lying. From what I know, I have what you call I'll say I have an associate's degree.
Okay.
But I like to bring the masters in. Somebody that can eyeball a situation and tell you how much money it is by how much it weighs. And say, no, man, no, that ain't right.
Yeah.
Why would you put that out to the world? Why would you put that out to the world if you know that this is not your truth, man? We got too many people dying.
Yeah. As young folks say, cap. Out here capping and dying for cap.
Come on, man. And so I wrote this when I showed the executives that picture, and then I stopped getting less and less phone calls. What I told them is exactly verbatim what I'm telling you. Ultimately, my thing was to say, if you're lying, if if you are taking from the artist and stealing his contracts, he's a fixer still. He comes and he finds you. It just so happens that the person that had stole from the last contract in my story was of a certain ethnicity. And he owned the company, and
so
they
that was that on the actual play, like on the what you wrote?
Yeah, I wrote a screenplay. I got with a guy who his name is forget his name.
Yeah,
he turned the script into an ebook. So so if you get the book, it's written in script form, but he did it as a favor to me.
Okay.
Because he thought that it needed to be out there.
That sounds
it's an Asian
dope,
brother.
Bro.
It's an Asian brother who he's doing well. We're gonna call it he's doing well. I got a couple brothers that they all right with me.
Right.
And he said, I'm gonna do that for you, Q, because I think that should be there. That's a dope story. My story is basically about empowerment. So it ain't no more Jay-Z, for example, gotta go to Leo Cohen. Jay-Z is Leo Cohen. I can't talk. Yeah, Jay-Z is like Leo Cohen. He now is the plug all the way, not halfway. When you say things like that, people are like, hold on for a minute. So that means you're trying to move me out of my spot.
That's a whole nother conversation. Because what I want everybody else to understand is it's not about necessarily moving, because I agree. It's not about us moving them out of the picture as much as it is us being in an equal space.
That's all it is. Equal space.
If we claim it equal this, equal that, and you own everything, you and go in other industries. You own food distribution. You own all the major Fortune 500 companies. You own all the major film companies. And you got one person. You got one Tyler Perry.
What is one Tyler Perry, man? Imagine how many different. I'm not gonna call any last name.
Yeah.
Just imagine the one Tyler Perry against the whole slew
Look, you already
of
said,
other producers out there.
You said one, so we gonna. That's a whole family.
Yeah. It don't make sense. And if you are a critical thinking person, an emotionally intelligent person, you know that it don't make sense. So not only do you know it don't make sense, they know it don't make sense. But you take a little bit of power away from people and they get a little anxious. So the thing is, it's about being on equal footing. So I want to say it and repeat what you said, because you're the maestro. I know I'm talking, but you're the maestro. You the man. You had me here. This is not my show. This ain't my show.
Yeah.
This is Magneto 7 show.
Yeah.
But what I want to say is it's about equal footing. And if you really care about my kids going to the best schools, taking the best trips, having their best lives, you wouldn't mind that happening. It can't be one Jay-Z, one Nas, and one Tyler Perry. Come on, man. Yeah. And guess what? It won't be.
Yeah. We get it.
Won't be. It won't be.
I think everybody's wising up, and I appreciate that. Even I would say even our quote unquote allies understand to a certain extent. It's like, oh no, that don't make sense. That don't make sense. Like yeah, like why would you block? Why would you block anything?
Yeah.
This could go deep. We already in.
Yeah.
So
it's okay.
So
but what I say, once you block something, there's gonna be another person who has an emotionally intelligent base of thinking, and they're going to be able to critically think. They're going to say, this person blocked you for what? It was all, when somebody blocks you, man, it's only for a selfish thing. It's only for a selfish reason. When somebody else recognizes that, they unblock it if they have the power to.
Right.
And it's your duty to do it for somebody else. And to show that person love who unblocked you, love back.
Right.
You got to pay it back. Just pay it back. So if there's too much of one thing on one side of the fence, you're creating a deficit in the other. So if somebody's hating so bad and blocking so much on this other side, all they're doing is opening up a portal for somebody else on this other side to say, come on over here with me.
Yeah.
Come on over here. Enough is enough. Let's go. That's why I'm not worried about, man, I appreciate everybody, but I'm not worried about what somebody else does. If I put the work in, I'm gonna get what I'm supposed to get.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna get
It's inevitable.
That. It's inevitable, and I don't have to have what you have. That's the thing. The goal shouldn't be about money anyway. The goal should be about being free to do whatever you want to do. Your freedom might come at 150K a year.
Mm-hmm.
It might not come at 150 million.
Mm-hmm.
It come at 150K a year. That money is a revolving door. It's being made in your sleep. You don't have to clock in to get it. Come on, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whoever, I don't know who's gonna see this. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
People say, "Oh, he say that now." Nah, I say that now, and I say that when I meet whoever, because the thing is, I know what it's like not to have. Mm-hmm. Who really know what it's like to go without eating for 2 or 3 days? Really?
Bruh.
That's why I went vegan. Bruh. That's why I went vegan. That's why I went vegan. I went vegan. I had so many situations due to bad programming. Pork, beef, Chinese food every Friday, Saturday night. My cousin coming to town. One of my favorite cousins. This is we going to our spot.
Yeah.
Spending $115. That's a lot of Chinese food, by the way.
Yeah.
That's not a lot of money. That's not a lot of money.
That's a lot of Chinese food.
For two people. What? All that salt. Listen, man. And then you wonder why the doctors say, you got to take high blood pressure medicine. You're going to have to run the endocrine gland tests. And come on, man. Mm-hmm. You think you're doing something big when you go to sit down, you know what I'm saying, at what's the place up here, man?
What y'all had? I know we had Carrabba's in Winston. We had like
PF Chang's.
PF Chang's.
Yeah, Benihana. You think you're doing something big when you go to Benihana's and PF Chang's. Mm-hmm. You are. But everything has to be in moderation. But you ain't doing something big if you're hurting yourself.
Exactly.
So I got tired of going to the doctor, man. So I put out, eat a few plants, drink a little water. Okay. I detail my procedure. I go everything sort of put in the pictures, which I have receipts.
Okay.
You can be black and you can be cool and you can be a regular dude. What's up, baby? What's up, homie? You can be all of that and still take care of yourself. You don't got to fit nobody's mold. Mm-hmm. And that's what I'm preaching to my children. You don't got to do that. Yo, Q, we got turkey, but I'm good, man. Yeah, I'm all right. I went to Wilson a couple weeks ago. Yo, Q, I'm good, baby.
Yeah.
I had a bottle of water and I think it's some fruit. I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm at the appropriate weight. I put that book out because people keep complaining about you can go and spend the money and get the weight off. You can do what Funk Flex did. I can say Funk Flex because I saw the little video. Yeah. Which I was bugged out. Like, what is he doing? You know what I mean? But hey, that's his money.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
That's his money. That's his money. I think it was Funk Flex, yeah. But I was like, man, listen, you got the money. Do what you want to do with your money, man. But as for me, I want to be healthy on the inside. I want to be able to look. You asked me, you said we're about the same age. I went jogging yesterday. I told you that. I ain't lying. I did. And guess what? Went outside today, got my workout in yesterday, worked out with my son last night. He wanted to do a few things and I dabbled in martial arts to taste. And you do that. You do that because you say, hey, listen, man, I want to be able to, I don't want to bother. I'm not bothering nobody. Love to you and everybody. But if the situation arises and you absolutely have they back you into a corner and they press you want to be able to come out that corner, you know what I'm saying? Any kind of way you know how to come out that corner. Mm-hmm. That's all I'm saying. And today's kids, I have to make my son get out of the game. Mm. I can't have you in the game all day. You got to know how to throw a left jab and a left hook, right? You got to know how to throw the left jab and a hook simultaneously. Throw the jab off the left hook. Let me show you this. These are things. Let me show you how somebody just decide to grab you. These are things, man, that my stepfather told me. Then I went and later got my butt kicked to learn. But that's okay. Every time you take an L, every time you fail, every time they deny my screenplay, just brought me closer to Showtime.
That's what I'm talking about.
And Showtime said, hey, when I got too deep for Showtime said, ooh. And that let me know.
I got to do this dolo.
Yeah, I got to do this dolo. And 50 Cent, I don't think was around at that time. You see how them denying certain things open up the portal over here? Mm-hmm. All you did was the universe said, hey, put him in charge.
The funny thing is, I remember, and we gonna rap. I promise we gonna rap. But I remember going to G Unit, right? And I was
Yeah.
working. I was doing. I think we were working on Murder by Numbers, and
Aha.
and it was a few times.
Salute, by the way. Salute. Let me
Appreciate
salute
it.
you.
Appreciate
I'm a
it.
hip hop. I'm a hip hop head. I'm a hip hop head. I'm for real. I'm a hip hop head. Let me salute you.
Appreciate
Go ahead.
it.
I'm sorry.
Appreciate it.
Yes,
You
sir.
good? But I
Yes, sir.
remember. I remember then. That was probably 2009, 2010. Fifth was like, "Yeah, I'm working on a TV deal."
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, TV deal. So everybody was like, yeah, so we're going to just keep stacking up music, build the catalog.
Right.
And I think, 2015, 14,
Yes, sir.
here comes this thing called Power.
See?
And I was just like,
Yeah.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
I get it.
I guarantee you, and let me say this, by the way, I'm not going to get up here and say, yeah, I'm the best writer in the world. I'm not going to tell you that. But I am going to tell you I'm damn good.
Yeah.
I'll say that. I've talked to enough people to know this. Secondly, to write, and any writer's going to say, yeah, he knows what he's talking about. To write is to rewrite. What I sell to a person, almost 99% of the time is going to be rewritten anyway, unless I'm just that guy, especially me coming in. It's going to be rewritten anyway. It's not going to be the baby that I birthed that from concept to finish. They're going to change something.
Okay.
That's okay. As long as they don't change the moral of what I'm thinking, fine. But they're going to change the writing. So when somebody says, for me, it was, I love the concept. I've been told this, got the receipts. Concept is great. Idea is great. Never heard it. Fresh take. Love it by people who do their thing. The second act, okay, cool. I'll revamp it.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody said, listen, the second act can be rewritten. So don't worry about that. You do the best second act you can do. The second act is hard for everybody. It's hard for Aaron Sorkin.
Wow.
And he's out of here with it, right? It's harder for everybody. If they like the idea, they like what you laid down, they purchase it, they'll have somebody come in and fix it up until they get it how they want it. So I want to say to all the writers, when somebody tells you your second act is not XYZ, keep working on it. When you get to the right person, you're going to sell it. They're going to rewrite it anyway. But now you got you some money and you got your calling card.
There you go.
So don't pull your hair out. Don't stress yourself out.
Hold up.
Do it.
Go ahead. What you saying?
Nah, that's it. Don't pull your hair out. It's gonna take place, like I said, how we talked about 50. Showtime said no, and there was no power at this time that I can recall. Now there's a power. There's a person that I can talk to and we can relate. Even though I'm from the South, I say, hey, you remember when they did? He'd be like, yeah, I remember, because it was a phenomenon.
Yeah. And
now he said, let me see what you got. And I guarantee you I got something. I got something for you. I got something for him. Yeah. Or whoever wants it. I'm not saying I have a portfolio and I keep it ready. If you stay ready, you got to get ready.
Come on, bro. I gotta give you a clap for that.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
All right. So we already passed an hour. So okay.
We can stop whenever you want.
To wrap it up.
It's your show.
To wrap it up, you've already kind of given the new screenwriters some insight on how it goes, right? Yeah. Last but not least, how can they reach you? The projects you already talked a little bit about Major Johnson,
right?
Any other project you want to talk about, and how can they reach out to you?
Like I said first I mentioned Winter Prophecy, which is coming up. I'm working on that with Mr. Antoine Away. Okay, he's a director. I'm the creator and the writer. He's a director. When you get the Boston people around, that ain't really my forte. Okay. So he's truly put resources into it, put camera time into it, put effort into it. Okay. I created it, wrote it. That's coming. That's about the reincarnation of Moses. Well, like I said, the guy's Moshe, he can smell, he can feel trouble, right? It's pretty much like a superhero, supernatural Marvel a la type of deal. Okay. So that's coming. Major Johnson is coming. But for now, if you want to really see what Showtime turned down, you go to QLuke_, QLuke, QLUKE_ on Instagram, and you can click clout. And like I said, receipts are everything. You want to get at me on there and talk about whatever. If you want proof that I'm what I just holler at me.
Yeah.
And then I have something called Eat a Few Plants, Drink a Little Water. That's also a book that's on my Instagram as well. You click that if you're into health or if you're into, vegetarian or veganism. I'm not knocking anybody who eats meat. I'm just telling you what works for me and how I did it. Because so many Black people say they can't do it. And if I can do it, a Southern boy from Wilson, eating everything, doing all kind of nonsense, you can do it. Okay. So QLuke_ on Instagram. You can find it. Holla at me. I got a portfolio ready and willing.
That's what I'm talking about. Bruh.
Yeah.
This has been a very impactful conversation. I'm gonna have to. I don't know when we're gonna go back to North Carolina. At some point in time, we gotta link up, bro. We gotta link up.
Indeed.
Like this. Oh
man, for sure.
This
is
dope. This is dope.
For sure.
So
definitely shoot me your info too, man. Like I love to keep in contact, man. Your energy is I like it. It wasn't impulsive. It wasn't oppressive. It was cool. Yeah. Your whole demeanor, man, was cool, man. And I first and foremost appreciate the fact that Antoine spoke to Miss Tracee and to speak to me to vouch. I appreciate that, man, because it's all in the effort to help everybody in the circle win. So, thank you, man, and definitely shoot me your credentials, man. And trust me, I won't pester you. I won't bother you.
Hey, if you do, it's cool. Just hit me. I'm gonna actually send you a message on Instagram in a hot second. So
yes, sir.
I see all my info. Sir. So we gonna do something like.
Yeah. And if you read clout, by you being a hip hop guy too, I guarantee you. Like I'm putting if you don't, be like, yo, call me. I'll cash app you your money back.
No, I ain't gonna do that.
No, I'm keeping it. This how much I believe in what I believe in. I believe in my product. Okay, if I sell it to you, if it don't get you where you want to be, holla at me. This is just for you, not everybody else in the past. Don't nobody come calling me telling me to cut them a check. That money spent. But this is for you. I guarantee you, if you read clout, man, you're gonna see the situation what I'm speaking of, and feel free to relay it to any of your people, man. And by you doing it, this is how we keep it. If you were to relay it to anybody, that means you're a part of it. That means I got to put you in on you. I got to put you in on. You got to get paid somewhere. That's how we do it.
You got me curious. I definitely want to see all the content and hear all the content because, like,
yes, sir.
I'm at the point now, bro, where I just want to make sure that the people that have a voice that needs to be heard gets it by any means, and whether I got to pull from people that got real estate portfolios and say, look, you should look at this. If I know an old industry friend that might be doing something, you need to look at it. Like, I think we're at the point where we can kind of control the narrative. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
And
yes, sir.
When it's necessary, it's necessary.
Yes, sir. And like I say, if it ain't to your liking, you say, Q, I ain't like, I got you. And if that ain't what you like, I got something you do like.
Okay.
I got something you like. Okay. One of the 10, you're gonna be like, oh yeah, for sure. I got something. If that ain't it, I got something else.
Okay.
Because that's how I lost my first deal, by not coming prepared.
Look, we're gonna do a master class with you. We're gonna figure that out. I think they're gonna like that. Yeah. They're gonna like that. All right, bro.
Yeah. Listen, man.
Mr. Quincy Lucas.
Yes, sir. Thank you, man. Thank you so much, man.
I'm going to reach out, like I said.
Thank you.
Give me one hot second. I'm going to wrap up the pod, then I'm going to shoot you all my info.
Yes, sir. Mr. Magneto 7. Thank you, man. The Lucas family thanks you.
All right, bro.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Take care.
I'm going to holler at you. Peace.
All right, peace.
Yeah, that's dope. Yo. So, I didn't expect for that to be as long as it was, but that was great. Like, that was awesome. So, we got a little bit of family business to do. Make sure y'all tune in. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. Do all of that good stuff. Follow us on Instagram, the Mad Lucrative Network on Instagram, and the Mad Lucrative Podcast on YouTube, Spotify, and everywhere else where you see my big face, my big black face. So, also, I think we're almost... All right, so we are still looking for a few more people on Sound and Wave. They tell me wrap up. We're looking for a few more people on Sound and Wave to book it. So I'll have all the information in the bottom. Also, all of my guest information will be in the description. Please follow. Do everything you do to support this man. He is dope. Till next week, peace. It's not just a network, man. It's a network, man.